I'm Robert Hidajat, and this is my story. I grew up in Indonesia in a small town called Jakarta. My parents are entrepreneurs. They have a small store that sell housewares. Back in the days, my parents would be at the store for 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday. And then every Sunday, they would pack up their little pickup truck with a lot of merchandise, sometimes double the height of the truck itself. And they would travel to the villages all around our hometown to deliver goods and also to sell stuff to the smaller stores in the villages. Me, my brother, and my sister at the time, since my parents can't afford a babysitter and they can't really take us with them because they need all the space in the truck for the merchandise, they would lock us inside the house. So every Sunday we would be locked in the house all day until in the evening when they come back with dinner. A little story, when I was little, I was probably around 3 or 4 years old at the time, and we were visiting our grandparents. My mom was going to the store, and for some reason, it took her a lot longer to get home. And my sister was getting really upset and really worried that something could have happened to my mom. And I told her, I've been to the store with mom before, so I know exactly how to get there. So I'm going to go walk to the market and, pick up my mom and tell her to come home right now. My sister opened the gate, let me out, and locked me out. So there is no way for me to turn back now, right? So purposely, I walked, through the alleys in Jakarta, past the stray cats and stray dogs, and the only way I know how to get to the market and to find my mom, which is through the main entrance of the market. I didn't even think that, there would be hundreds of people at the market, and there are actually more than one entrances to the market. And my mom usually never took the main entrance because the back entrance is a lot shorter for her to come home. But luckily, when I get to the market, my mom just happened to exit the market from the main entrance. So when she saw me, her eyes, I think, almost jumped out. She yelled my name. She picked me up and, gave me the biggest hug. So I could have gotten lost, or I could have gotten hit by a car, or maybe my mom would have taken a different exit and we wouldn't have met each other, and I probably wouldn't be here today. All because I'm trying to help my sister. I was not thinking, right? I'm just trying to do whatever I can to help my sister. Looking at that incident made me realize that I really have a passion for helping others. When I was a junior in high school, I applied for an exchange student program to study in the U.S. and stay with an American family in Rock Island, Illinois. I didn't speak a word of English. I know how to read and write a little bit because I had probably a semester of English before I traveled there. I usually have to record lectures in class and listen to them again when I get home to make sure I understand. Eventually, I had to speak, so I learned English, I got good grades, and I managed to graduate and went to Iowa State University right after that. I graduated with a degree in computer science. As soon as I graduated, I already had a job lined up. I worked for a small startup for about a couple of years doing programming work, and then I got an opportunity to join the Asia Pacific team. With a lot of my clients, instead of programming, I would be working with a lot of my clients who already purchased software to implement the software and resolve any problems that they may have or that they may run into. So it really aligns with what I love to do, which is to help and support others. I joined that team in Asia Pacific for probably 2 or 3 years before eventually I took over the Asia Pacific marketing team. In 2002, I got married to my amazing wife, Leah. 1 year later, in 2003, our first son was born, Nathan. And that's when I really started to realize that family is very important to me. At the time, I was traveling maybe 80% of the time, and I just realized that since my first son was born, that I really don't want to miss 80% of my time with my family. We moved back to Ames, Iowa, and I moved to a more local job, so I don't have to travel so much. I remain at for the remainder of my IT career back in the days. During this early career, the main thing that I learned is that, yes, I love traveling all over the world and supporting all these clients in different parts of the world. But family is very important to me. I would do anything for them, and I would sacrifice whatever I need to sacrifice to spend more time with them and to be with them and to support them. This is when I kind of come full circle. So I started looking into entrepreneurship that I tried to run away from almost 2 decades ago. And I started looking for businesses that I can start because I think that's a better path for me to move forward. I came into restoration initially, so water and fire and mold damage restoration restoration work. I came to it by chance, and I really fell in love with it because with restoration, I don't have to come to people's home and try to sell them things that they may or may not need. Usually when people call me, they have a problem, an emergency, something happened in their house, like a flood or roof leak or a kitchen fire, and I'm there to listen to them, to support them, and to guide them really through this difficult times that really aligns with what I love to do. In January 1st, 2018, I started Blue Van Restoration. I spent months traveling all over the US to get all the certifications that I needed, bought all brand new equipment, a brand new van, and get started. The first 2 months, we didn't get any call at all. So nobody called for any work at all. At the time, I was kind of starting to think whether, should I go back to start looking for a job again? But eventually the phone rings, and really the first year and a half or so, I actually end up doing probably a few hundred mold remediation projects, working with a lot of families. And during that time, is when I learn what mold can do to people's homes. I work with a lot of mold-sensitive families, and a lot of them have been through it for multiple years, going through multiple doctors, multiple inspectors, and multiple remediation companies, but they're still sick. That's when I started to realize that even though I love restoration, being able to help people when a problem arises, if I can help them prevent that problem from happening in the first place, I would save them a lot more financial, physical, and psychological hassles and harm. That's what shifted me towards the inspection side of the business, and that's when I started Blue Scan in 2019. My 20-something self, I would probably tell them 3 things. So one is don't run, look up, and also embrace your passion. Don't run from entrepreneurship and try to embrace that earlier. Don't sacrifice years of your life just because you want to have the comfort of having a job. Look up from keeping your nose in those books, and don't be such a nerd. Make connections and expand your circle of friends. Finally, just embrace your passion. Yes, you can support your family, and you can be a good example for your family by listening to others, supporting them, really ultimately serving others. There are really 2 things that drives me to keep going today. Number 1 is, of course, my family. My wife, Leah, is really amazing. I really love her. I love that I'm able to support her so she doesn't have to work and she can focus on the kids and she can focus on doing volunteer work around the community. Of course, I love my kids. My son, Nathan, is in college right now in his 2nd year of pre-med. Middle daughter, Neva, she's going to start college in the fall. And my youngest, Nina, is a freshman in high school right now. So really, I love my family, and they really keep me going every day. And then secondly is, of course, my clients. They've been running around in circles with no end in sight, and being able to give them guidance and give them a path forward or give them peace of mind, and also seeing their progress after I'm done, see how they get better. That's the biggest reward that I can get. Really, I can't ask for anything more.